Hi everyone, this is Cristina.
And Carmen.
Also, before we start the episode, I do have some sad news. Sad update, if you will. About 2 weeks ago, I want to say, MJ messaged us and let us know that she just has too much going on right now. She's having a hard time and she wants an indefinite break from the podcast. So that was very sad for us to hear. Obviously, we're going to give her all the space she needs. If she ever wants to come back, she is, of course, always welcome. But yeah, let's give her the space that she needs. We still, send each other memes, of course. And also just want to thank her for everything she's done for Espooky Tales. When we first started, I had begged Carmen to do it with me, but she was too busy.
Yeah.
And she stepped in and she was like, I want to do it. And we've had so much fun. She's been such a delight. And it's been an honor to share this journey with her. And I know, obviously we're going to miss her. Listeners are going to miss her. Send her, good vibes. Keep her in your thoughts. But yeah, she did ask for a break. So we're going to keep, going. And as long as we can.
Yeah.
Truly, I cannot see myself not talking about haunted places with you.
Full canas and everything.
Full canas, gray hair, looking like Mama Coco. If we can, we will be talking.
Unless I get Botox, which I fully intend to.
Okay.
And I'll let you guys know. So if I look different and frozen, that's why. And that's the goal.
Share the experience with us too.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, we did want to give that update. So we're going to keep doing this together forever. And if she ever is in the space where she wants to come back, of course.
Yeah. We'll welcome her back with open arms.
Con las manos abiertas.
Peludas.
Pero no peludas. Yes, not la mano peluda. But we will be talking about la mano peluda today.
All right.
What a perfect segue. Thank you.
Right.
All right. So now we're ready for the episode. So I'm going to be sharing those. But of course, before we get to that, Carmen does have a listener story. And if you have a story that you want to send to the podcast, you can email espookytales@gmail.com. You can DM us on any of our socials. You can call the Spooky hotline. The number is in the show notes or the description if you're watching on YouTube. There's a lot of ways to get us a story. We will read it. And yeah, send us your stories. We love receiving them. And all right, are you ready?
Yeah, let's get into it. So this is from Charity. Hi, I wanted to share a sleep paralysis dream I had a few years ago. It'll be a short story, but it still freaks me out and I wanted to share it here. So to start, my husband and I were living in an apartment at the time this happened. The only way we could arrange our room was for our bed to be facing the bedroom door. My husband hates to do this since he was always taught how it brings bad luck to yourself or your home. His mom always told him that it's bad feng shui, is how you say that, right? Feng shui. So here is the description from Google. Google says dead man's position or the coffin position because the feet or head face the door and resemble how we carry the dead through open doors from the house.
Oh.
Have you ever heard that?
I didn't know this.
Me either. And I think that's how I sleep.
Is that why you have a mala vida? I'm just kidding.
I guess. Where else would you put your bed? I don't know.
Facing the bedroom door?
Yeah. Well, actually, my door's a little off to the side, so it's not really directly facing the door. I don't know. I can't explain it.
It's not this.
No, it's not. So I'm actually good. I'm
Ignore
good.
Carmen.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, but yeah. The reason I included that is because it is relevant to the story I'm sharing with you. So to start, we went to bed at 2 a.m. I remember having a feeling I was being watched before going to sleep, but I brushed it off and fell asleep. When I did get to sleep, I had this horrible nightmare where I was being chased down by a killer in a graveyard. He was a tall black figure that kept laughing at me while I was being chased.
No mames
way. I remember I tipped in a hole in the dream and woke up, or I thought I did, because when I opened my eyes, I saw the same giant black figure in front of our bedroom doorway that was wide open staring at me.
Me cago y me muero. No mames. I'm so scared. I said I would die and shit my pants. And then I said no mames for Spanish speaker.
You said no mames in Spanish.
Sorry.
Are you translating that?
No,
I don't know. No mames.
No way, Jose. Go on.
Okay. Where was I? Okay. So yeah, the figure was staring at Charity. I realized then I couldn't move. I remember trying to scream to get my husband's attention, but I wasn't able to move or make a sound as the dark figure kept getting slowly closer to the edge of the bed before it reached me. Oh my God. I was able to let out a tiny scream, which thankfully my husband woke up and somehow he was able to fully wake me.
Oh my God.
So I told him everything that went down, and when I looked at the clock,
Oh my God.
it was 3:30 in the morning.
Of course it was.
No other time. If it was any other time, I would expect like 3 a.m. We turned on the lights and put on a funny movie to be able to go back to sleep. But honestly, I don't think I ever felt truly safe in the apartment after that. Thankfully, we moved out soon after. Good. Charity, I'm glad you don't live there anymore because wow.
Yeah.
Because wow, I would never be able to sleep ever again.
Same.
And then she just said, I'm glad your podcast exists. It makes my day to listen to every story you put out there. Thank you so much, Charity.
Thank you, Charity, so much for sending that story in. Very scary. I was scared.
Yeah.
As you could see my face if you're watching. Oh, sorry, I have to burp. We had tortas.
And they were delicious.
We took Lainey with us.
Yeah.
She didn't believe us at first, but then she was like, you're right. This was really good. So if you're in Denver, check out Las Tortas number 2. It was so good. But now I'm very full.
Yeah.
So I might pause to burp. Okay, let's take a quick ad break and then we'll come back with the Mano Peluda stories. And we're back. All right. So I have 2 stories from La Mano Peluda. The first one is kind of short, but you know, I love a good time travel story. And honestly, sometimes these are the hardest to kind of get behind. Logically.
Yeah.
But when you throw logic out the window, anything is possible. And that's what I do every day. No. No, just kidding. Okay. If you're new and you don't know, we have talked about La Mano Peluda in the past, but a quick refresher. La Mano Peluda is a Mexican radio show. It was started, I think it was the 90s.
I don't know.
Don't quote me. But people call in and tell their paranormal experiences to the host. Originally, it was a different person, but I'm most familiar with Juan Ramon Science. This is the stories that I listen to the most. It's very scary. It's kind of like, you could say, the Mexican Coast to Coast, if you know Coast to Coast, which you probably don't know. Okay, that's very weird. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And so I will, if you message me, I will send you the original links to these episodes because there's nothing like hearing it in their own voice.
Yeah.
In Spanish, it hits different. It really does. So here goes the first story. I titled it, A Man Was Visited by a Time Traveler. So a fisherman named Eduardo from Campeche called into La Mano Peluda, and Eduardo has lived in Campeche for 13 years. He wakes up very early, around 3 a.m.
Not 3 a.m. The worst time ever.
And he's at work on the sea in his boat by 4. He's out there grinding, and he's usually done with work around 3 p.m. So he was out on the sea one day with 3 other fishermen. At this point, it was pretty early, around 7 a.m. As they're fishing, they look into the shore and they were shocked to see someone sitting close to the shore. At first, it looked like they were kind of floating like on top of the water, kind of like Jesus.
Oh, that was going to be my question. Like Jesus.
Yes, como Jesucristo.
Okay,
they were like
como
Jesus.
Espooky. Okay.
Yes. So they were like, who is that? What's going on? And so they decide to go see what is going on. They go up to the person. They're confused because the person seemed to be wearing clothes that were not from this era. They look futuristic. So like, what's the movie with That's So Raven?
Xeno?
I don't know.
But I know what you're talking about.
The one that her wife didn't watch?
Yeah.
So picture that movie with a raven.
So that's what they're wearing.
Yeah, something like futuristic looking. So Eduardo described the clothing as like very distinct sunglasses. Oh, or maybe the Matrix. I don't know. The man looked about 32 if Eduardo had to guess, right? He had shoes that looked like long socks, but were not socks, but also were not boots. Before you say, aren't those botas?
Okay, so shoes that look like socks.
But were not socks.
And they weren't boots either.
No. Almost like they were like formed around the foot.
Okay.
Like say you have like a little
like
plastic
a superhero cartoon. Like
thank you.
Their
Yes.
boots. Okay.
Yeah, like Superman's red boots.
Right.
But they weren't red.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I see it. Okay.
Yeah. And then the guy started speaking a different language. And the fisherman didn't recognize it at first, Eduardo. But there was another fisherman on the crew who also was a tour guide, and he understood English. Turns out that's what the man from the future was speaking.
English.
English.
Oh, okay.
So maybe the United States finally got their dream and colonized the world,
future?
the future, and only people only speak English. I don't know.
Oh my God.
All right, let me. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so that's what the man from the future was speaking. The guy told them that he was time traveling and he ended up in the wrong year.
Wow.
And he told them he was from the year 2057.
2057 is actually not that far off.
No, it's not. And the problem when you find Mano Peluda episodes on YouTube is
Right.
that you don't know when the call took place. And I can't find the original time frame. So
Wait, but it was already
it was not Juan Ramon Sáenz anymore. So after his death.
after him. When did he die?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
We could look it up really quick. Do you have your phone?
Oh man, it's charging over there.
Oh, I have a computer in front of me.
Duh.
Oh,
I feel like it has to be a year that doesn't feel close.
he died in 2011.
Okay, that's not
That
I don't know.
far, right?
Okay.
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 Well, he said he was from 2057.
Sorry, I just don't see time travel happening in 2057. If it ever happens, I feel like it has to be further away.
Further away. No, I agree. So for a second, I thought that the story took place, or I thought Eduardo called in like the 90s, 80s.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
Because Back to the Future is set in what year?
It's like from the 80s, right?
Yeah, but the movie is set like in a year
Let me tell you something.
I've never seen
that movie.
It's because we're Mexican.
Yeah, and sometimes as a not only Mexicans, but like first generation like immigrant if you're born from immigrant parents, there's a lot of pop culture and movies that you didn't watch because you were busy watching Telemundo and whatnot, Univision and stuff. So I didn't watch Back to the Future.
And we had the same childhood. So
None of
I also
them.
didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if my voice sounds weird. We did so much screaming and laughing. I feel like I sound ronca and my mouth is dry. So apologies. I will try to fix as much of it as I can. Oh, it's 2015.
Oh my God.
Wow. So maybe people will be traveling back in 2057.
I don't know. I don't see it.
I would like to do it. All right. So back to the story. Sorry for that. We had to check. So the guy from the future told Eduardo and the other fishermen that people from his time travel back to fix mistakes. And he meant to return to 2034, not whatever year this phone call is taking place in.
Okay.
And he told the fishermen that people go back to change the dates of tragedies, change history.
I don't like that, but okay.
I feel like that's messing with the natural
Space and time continuum.
Yeah, and Doctor Who said that's not right.
Right. Exacto.
Precisamente.
Sí.
Okay, so to change history, the days of tragedies, collect old technology and things like that, but sometimes they end up stuck in the past. And then he also said that they use this type of machine and travel leaves them very, very tired.
Regular travel leaves me very, very tired. So
Can you imagine?
traveling through time? How exhausting would that be?
Very.
Yeah,
It has to be very exhausting. He also said that in his time, there is only one language, and that language is English.
Is that why you said that earlier?
That's why I said that earlier.
That, honestly, I could see because, colonization.
It's already the official language in places that don't even speak
Right.
it. Or the dollar is the official currency of places that it shouldn't be. El Salvador, Bitcoin. So yeah, I can see that if any of this is maybe
It's that. Yeah.
that part. He said that the guy from the future said that there is one government that rules the world. And if they speak English, I'm guessing it's maybe it's a combination of English, the British and the United States. Maybe they team back up.
I mean, I could see it. I could see it. This is just scary because I mean, okay.
Yeah, and if you weren't watching, Carmen was just kind of making faces and her arms in circles. Yeah. So the guy from the future was with the group of fishermen for about 1 hour. And during that hour, the guy from the future gave Eduardo his sunglasses. And Eduardo tells La Mano Peluda that these sunglasses never seem to run out of whatever battery is in them. They seem to have a battery. They seem to receive notifications.
Okay. Well, I mean, we have smart glasses right now.
Yeah, maybe these were Apple
Right?
Vision. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if this was, I don't know when the phone call took place, but these things didn't exist yet. And I know it's not hard to imagine them.
Right.
Right? You can, if you're writing a book, this is something you would maybe create, right? But I don't know. And Eduardo claims to still have these glasses, and supposedly he was going to send a video of them going off to la Mano Peluda. I don't know if he ever did. That's always hard to find. People are always like, oh, todavía tengo el video. I still have the video, but then I never see it. So I don't know. I can't find it. And then Eduardo also said that the guy from the future gave him information from the future that ended up being right.
Okay.
So he told him, and I guess this could be like a 50-50 thing, but let me tell you. So the guy from the future told Eduardo who would win a soccer match that had not happened yet.
Okay.
So that's already throwing off the 50-50. He said there's going to be a match between these two teams, although soccer is something that's pretty regular. You know who's going to be playing against who.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The guy from the future told Eduardo when the match was going to take place, what time, between what teams, and who was going to win. And he, down to the player that scored. Wow. And I'm sorry because I cannot remember the teams and I didn't write it down. I was listening to it in Spanish and typing as I'm listening. And I'm like, I don't want to go back and write the names. So, but it was obvious. It was real teams and a real player and a game that did take place. And Eduardo placed money on the winning team. He took all his money. Oh, wow. I want to say because he was a fisherman. I think he had 500 pesos. He put it all on the match. The guy from the future was right. Eduardo won 500,000 pesos. And he more than doubled his,
wow,
his bet, right? So the guy was right. And then Eduardo states that the guy told them he was breaking time travel laws by telling him the soccer match information.
Okay, I could see that being true.
Yeah. And then he also said that he wasn't allowed to look for himself in the past or look for anyone that was related to him. These are the rules.
That makes sense.
Of time travel. And then Eduardo, I already said this, but he said that the sunglasses the guy left seem to receive messages. They beep every once in a while, but he's very scared to show them to anyone. And that's when the phone call ends.
Okay.
Yeah. And time travel is just always fun to read about.
Yeah.
And it's a little creepy that the soccer part was true. Verifiable.
He won many.
Yeah. So, and I know you could say he could have went back and looked, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna question it.
¿Quién sabe?
Uno nunca sabe. You never know. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this other story also from La Mano Peluda. And this is Enna's time travel story.
Oh, okay.
So Enna called La Mano Peluda and she lets them know that she was in Chichen Itza. And I guess maybe some people don't know where that is. So that is it's in the Yucatan Peninsula, right?
I want to say, yeah.
So if anyone doesn't know, although it's a very touristy place. Chichen Itza is in Yucatan in Mexico. Okay. So south. And beautiful. So Enna was in Chichen Itza in 2000. Back then, you could still climb the pyramids because you can't do that anymore. We saw a white lady do that on TikTok. Anyone remember that video?
A couple of years ago, right?
Yeah. And then people were calling her out.
Weren't
and she
you
got
throwing
arrested.
stuff at her?
Yeah, people threw stuff at her.
And I support that.
Yeah. But back then, when Enna was there, you could climb them. And so there's a pyramid called La Pirámide de los Guerreros, the Pyramid of the Warriors. Next to that, there's another one called El Templo de las Monjas, the Temple of Nuns. And so the weather was humid. Enna was there with a group of 5 friends, all different ages, but they would travel around together. Among them, there was a couple. So they were able to climb the pyramids. They were able to go inside of El Templo de las Monjas, the Temple of Nuns. And they were early because they wanted to start seeing everything really early.
Yeah.
So this was around 8:30 in the morning. And so it's a long set of it's a long time to go up there and get up there. It's tiring, it's hot. So they sat down to drink some water, and they were in kind of the first little area of the Temple of Nuns. And so they're in there, and all of them, as things tend to do when you're with a group of friends, they started talking about their past lives.
Okay, their past lives.
What they thought their past lives would be. Yeah. They started imagining what did these temples look like before
I love
colonization.
going somewhere and thinking about, not even going somewhere, even when I'm in the Central Valley, and off the top of my head, I cannot remember what indigenous tribe, the land, what indigenous tribe resided there. But yeah, I like to imagine what it looked like how, like what trails did they take, like.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about. It really is. Like, what could have been here if this had not happened,
what
right?
would this be? Yeah.
And especially about a place that, like, the Maya, and when it was at the top of its, when they were most powerful, when they had pueblos and a community, bigger community, because of course we know the Maya are still there. But when it was only Maya, what was that like?
No Spanish, no mestizos.
Not us. I wonder. So that's what they were talking about. They were wondering. And then as they're having this conversation, they got up to walk to the back and look around. As they're looking around, they heard someone calling them. They heard psst, psst.
Oh, hell no.
They all turned around and it was an indigenous Maya.
Okay.
But it wasn't like it wasn't a ghost. It was an actual person.
Oh my God.
An
I was
indigenous
over
person.
here scared already.
I mean, the way I said it.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. So it was an actual person.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was indigenous. He was beckoning them. He was speaking in Maya and beckoning for them to follow. And they were like, okay. And Enna, when she's talking to La Mano Peluda, she makes the point to say that she's from Chiapas and she does understand some of the Maya language in Chiapas, because we know each pueblo has their own language, and maybe it's under the Maya like umbrella, but it's still different. So she understands in Chiapas some words, but she could not understand this person that was beckoning for them. But he was beckoning, and so they follow him. As they follow, they see that there's like a path for them to follow that they kind of don't remember was there before.
Okay.
Yeah. So the indigenous man, he's walking very fast. They're trying to keep up with him. They think that it was about 5 kilometers that they followed. So it's like, what, 2 point something miles?
What? Say that again. Sorry.
5 kilometers. What is that? 3 miles? Just over 3 miles? We can't do math.
I think it's 2.5 miles.
3.
Oh,
3.1, basically 3 miles. So Enna estimates that they walked maybe 3 miles. When they turn around, somehow the pyramids they were in are not behind them anymore.
What?
And they are shocked because in front of them is a city, but it's like, it looks like a Mayan city, but not like now. Like, it looks like from back before colonization.
Wow.
She says the vegetation was lush. Everything was so colorful. The pyramids, new structures, they looked new, but they were not there anymore.
Wow.
From now, right? So it looked like they were in the past, but there was no people around them.
Wow.
And they also saw a big, like, giant turtle. Like, picture, I don't know if anyone has seen Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Right.
So you know the turtle that Aang goes to?
Azrael.
Yes, and he learns to take people's bending powers away. That's what I pictured. That's the turtle I pictured. Okay. So the head of the turtle was facing the north towards Cancun, is what Enna said. And that means nothing to me because I'm like, I don't know, like...
Navigationally challenged.
Never eat sour worms. So that... north...
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. So she said that the head of the turtle was north, the tail facing south. There was, at each foot of the turtle, there was a ceiba tree.
Oh.
And if anyone remembers from so long ago when we talked about La Ixtabay, a legend from Yucatan, she lives in the ceiba tree. She's like a snake-like entity that eats men. Yes. And she lives in these trees, and these trees are like spiritual. They're very spiritual trees. They're old. So there was also some stairs, and there was un hueco, I believe, a hole in the ground. And then the hole in the ground was completely dark. They couldn't see what was inside, just darkness. The group walked around in awe. It was like something they had never seen before. Suddenly, Irving, one of the guys in the group, he says, "Hey, it's getting dark." When he said, "Hey, it's getting dark," everything went dark.
Wow.
It was like the beauty of what they had just been seeing vanished.
Wow.
Gone.
Like took them out of the fantasy.
Now everything looked like back from when they had seen the man. So that they weren't even in the temple, but it looked like now they were back to the present.
Okay, yeah.
And they looked around and it was now 5 p.m.
Oh, wow.
And remember that they were there at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so now they were in what Enna called Chichen Nuevo, and they called Chichen Viejo, the place that they went to that was beautiful. That's what she was calling it. they decided to try and go back to the parking lot because they were like, well, let's go back. It's late. But they didn't know where they were because the path that they had followed with the man was gone. The man, gone. They were like basically in the middle of the jungle, it seemed.
Wow.
Oh, there was just trees. They were not even in the temples anymore. So they start making their own path. Basically, they start pushing through leaves and bushes to get back to the temple of nuns. When before this path was clear, they followed a clear path with the man that beckoned them.
Yikes.
When they finally got to the temple, back out to their car, they were full of scratches from like the trees and stuff. When like, again, this had been a clear path.
Like in the past, because they went to the past, it was a well-traveled path.
It seems right. And so they get back to the parking lot finally, and they start walking around, like, you know, how there's local vendors selling things. And so they went to go get water, and then Enna went to this little store booth type thing with an indigenous person selling art, basically, or like sculptures almost. And Enna mentioned that whenever she travels, she wants to get like local art and support the artisan, like, you know, indigenous.
That's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah. And so she always gets like little things that they make. And she really wanted this little wooden sculpture of the god of maize, corn.
Isn't it corn?
Maybe.
I don't think it's
corn.
maize. I'm not sure, but
Again,
that sounds wrong.
I don't know. I'm not educated. Okay.
Right.
So she wanted the sculpture, and the vendor, the indigenous vendor, was like, no, you don't want that. Actually, I'm not selling you that one. You need this one. And he grabs like the god of medicine, a sculpture of the god of medicine. He's like, this is what you need. And he was like, I'm not selling it to you. You need this one. You cannot have the other one. I'm giving you this one. You need to take this home with you. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna, like, I really wanted the other one, but I'm not gonna turn down a piece of art. Like, okay, fine, I'll take this one, even though it's not the one I wanted. So she took it anyway. And then they leave Chichen Itza, they go back home. Also, side note, the phone call, when she says that they left Chichen Itza and went back home, the phone call gets very weird. There's like a weird robotic sound, like, and it gets all like
garbly. I don't know, that's a word. Okay.
And then they're like, Enna, ¿estás ahí? Enna, are you there? And they have to call her back.
Oh, wow.
Something happened.
Maybe she went through a tunnel.
Maybe. Or maybe it was a ghost. When Enna was finally home, that night was fine. The next night, she started having weird erotic dreams.
Okay, Enna, we see you.
And I was like, that's weird because I don't have dreams like this. I don't even remember my dreams. But then she's like, you know what? Maybe it's menopause that's giving me these weird erotic dreams. But this kept going on. It didn't stop. It was every single night. And then after a week of this happening, she started waking up with bite marks.
Okay, Enna.
Bite marks on her.
Wow.
And even though she was like already like older, she's a lawyer, by the way.
Okay.
So she's this educated lawyer, but she lives with her parents still. And so her parents started asking, like, why do you have these bite marks? Like, what are you doing? What are you bringing into our house? Like, you can't come in here.
Enna, are you being a cochina?
That was basically them. Are you being gross?
Sucia?
Are you hooking up with a bunch of guys? Like, why is there bite marks all over you like that?
Calles?
Are you of the streets? Yes.
Are you in the streets?
In the streets. Are you in the streets? My bad.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it was causing problems. They kept accusing her of things she wasn't doing. And she was like, first of all, if I was doing these things, like, it's my business. It's okay. But I'm not doing these things.
Not when you live with your parents.
No. Not when you live with your Mexican Catholic parents.
Right.
You can't do that. But she was like, no, I'm not doing anything. Because she wasn't. And the bite marks only got worse. She then started having bruises all over her body. She was having trouble sleeping. Then she finally talked to the rest of the group, everyone else in the group. And another girl said, no way, that's happening to me. Same thing.
No.
And then Lupe, another group member, she was having issues too since they'd been back. She was full of scratches that wouldn't heal. So they started all freaking out now that they like corroborated they were talking and they saw that they were all
They're all going through the same thing.
they're all going through things.
Yeah.
Yes. Because now at this point, it had been 3 months since they returned from Chichen Itza. That's a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then they decided to finally get together and talk in person about what was happening to them. When they were talking, and this is in their hometown, they're talking in like a restaurant or something about this, you know. And as they're having this conversation about what is happening to each one of them, a curandero happens to be walking by and he overhears them. He walks up to the group and he tells them, you need to return what you took from Chichen Itza.
Who took something? It's not the thing she was given, right? Because Okay.
So they were like, what?
I should have known. I should have known somebody took some. Okay, I'll let you finish.
No, go finish that thought.
I should have known someone took something and that they needed to leave there, because that's how you get like cursed after.
Yeah, exactly. So they were like, what? No, none of us took anything. And then Lupe starts crying.
Pinche Lupe. Lupita? Get it together.
Oh my God. Lupe starts crying and she said she took a rock that was near the turtle.
Pinche Lupe. She cursed all of her friends.
Do not take things. Leave things there. Okay.
Number 1 rule.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
So the curandero told them, you all of you need to go back, go to the exact place.
And also, let me just say, it's so hard to get a group of people together, like friends, to do anything, right? Especially once you're a boring adult who needs to work because capitalism and your schedules never align. So like, what if that was a once in a life thing, they coordinated their schedules to go there? Like, imagine they can't make it back in their cruise forever. Porque la Lupe
decided
decidió to steal something.
Precisely.
Pinche Lupe is what I'm saying.
New sticker? No, I'm just kidding.
Because there's other Lupes, fine Lupes out there that don't steal from sacred sites. Okay, so not all Lupes. # not all Lupes.
Precisamente, exactly. So the curandero's like, you need to all go back. You need to go together and return it. And these friends made it happen. They were like, we don't want to be cursed anymore.
But you know what? No matter what, if I was in that situation, no matter what, I would have made it work. Like, like I can't live like this anymore.
Exactly.
No matter how hot the dreams are, because they were sexy. Remember that
in the beginning, but then she couldn't sleep anymore.
That's right. That's right.
So,
you're right.
So they all go back. But then the problem is, okay, so they went back to Chichen Itza, but then the problem is...
Wait, sorry. Tell me why I got more energy when you said the dreams were hot. No, just kidding.
We all noticed.
It was the curse, actually.
The curse. It woke you up.
Pinche Lupe. And then all of a sudden, like a burst of energy.
That's good, because she was falling asleep. Not on purpose.
If you see me and you think I'm a bitch because I'm not paying attention to Cristina, it's actually because I'm very, very tired. And I was like, fighting for my life now. It's
been a busy weekend, but we're making this happen because we don't want to get behind.
Right, right.
For you.
For y'all.
So, oh my God, I can't. Okay, so the problem is that they need to go back to Chichen Itza, but how do they find old Chichen Itza, the place they went to?
Wait, how? Okay, wow.
Well, I'll tell you. So they tried to ask around and no one knew what they were talking about. No one knew what they were talking about. They're like, oh my God, what do we do? We can't give up. We can't live like this.
Before planning that trip, I would have told everyone, okay, let's jump Lupe. Because this is Lupe's fault.
So, how do they go back to a place that doesn't exist?
Right. Like, they have to travel back in time again? When who knows how they even did it the first time, right? They need to find that man.
Yeah, they do. So no one knows what they're talking about when they're at the pyramids. They go to the local pueblo right by the pyramids and they start asking around for like the curandero of the pueblo, who is the medicine man, who is the healer here, who knows this stuff. Finally, they find someone and he knows what they're talking about.
Okay, wow.
He knows Chichen Viejo.
I love it.
He knows. So he helps them with a ritual. They had to make like this special atol together.
Atol?
Atol, like, you know, the drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how to... Hold on. Let's tell our people that might not know what atol is.
Atol is like champurrado, but with corn.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a hot drink. It's delicious.
Yes. I actually don't like atol. I like champurrado.
I like both. I love both. Atol. I would drink anyone, anytime. Except when I'm doing keto.
Or when it's hot, because it's a hot drink.
That's true. In the winter.
Yeah.
It's a winter drink.
Right.
So he has them make it's this special atol together. They have to make it together. Then
And at that point, they have to get over their anger at Lupe. And
they have
work
to unite.
together.
Yeah,
I would watch this movie. I would.
I would. They have to make it from scratch too.
Wow.
And then, sorry, let me go back to where I was. And then they have to ask for forgiveness at the site. Forgiveness. They have to put the rock exactly where it was.
How would you even know? Okay, I would immediately start fighting Lupe again.
What do you mean you don't remember? Imagine that was me.
Does this help?
I would not remember.
The curse would never end. You would never remember. And I probably wouldn't either, honestly. Who even remembers like when they steal stuff from where? Like, I don't.
Exactly. So the curandero took them. He was able to take them to Chichen Viejo.
Wow.
They went to exactly the place they had gone before. The old Chichen Itza is what they called it. They found the turtle. And for some reason, and Enna has no idea why, she had the little statue of the god of medicine with her this whole time. She took it back to Chichen Itza with her. It was just with her. And the curandero, for the ritual, he tells them, I need a statue of a medicine man.
And she had it.
She had it.
Okay, Enna.
Like,
coming to the rescue.
mind blown. She gives it to him for the ritual, and they complete it. They're able to go back safely, and they end up okay, except for the married couple.
Really?
Yes.
They divorced or what?
They divorced because the guy got home from work and he saw the shadow of a person laying down in the bed. This was a ghost. This was not a man. And he didn't believe his wife.
How dare you not believe her?
Especially when everyone else is being cursed.
You lost una buena mujer because you didn't believe her story.
Yeah. And like, I think this is before they started connecting with the group again and seeing. But then by the time they learned what was happening and it was happening to everyone else, the trust had been broken.
Wow.
And they couldn't recover it. He thought she was cheating. She wasn't. It was the curse. The curse was doing this because she was also had the bruises and the bite marks.
Yikes.
And they couldn't get past it. And so by the time they realized this was a shared haunting, a shared curse, it was too late. They didn't make it.
Wow.
Yes. And that was Enna's story.
I love that story.
Was it not?
Again, I would watch this movie.
No, and this needs to, someone please.
Yeah. Get on it.
Please. And yeah, I guess we've reached the end of the episode.
Okay. Do you have any spooky recommendations?
I actually do.
What?
On the way here, I watched the movie. Like downloaded it on Hulu, and then I watched it. Yeah, I watched it during my flight. I watched Where Evil Lurks, and in Spanish, I think it's Donde la Maldad Acecha. Hold on, I gotta double check that.
Was it in Spanish with subtitles? I watched it, or just wait? You don't need subtitles.
Yes,
well, actually, you do because of the ADHD.
I need subtitles anyway.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if that's an ADHD thing.
It is.
Oh.
It can be.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Correction. The name is Cuando Acecha la Maldad.
Cuando Acecha la Maldad. That actually sounds better than when you said it.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It does. It came out in 2023. It is currently on Hulu is where I found it. I think at some point it was only on Shudder. Now it's in both places, Shudder and Hulu. You can find it in either one. It's an Argentinian movie. And immediately when I saw Argentina, I was like, this is going to be messed up. This is going to be fucked up.
Oh, no.
And it was. I don't want to spoil anything. I already spoiled everything for Carmen.
Yeah, and I loved it.
But you need to watch it. I was so disturbed, to say the least. Just like a mild spoilery thing, I guess. It's not a zombie movie per se, but you can think of it
but
like
it's not.
Yeah, you could think of it like a viral like illness,
like 28 days later,
sort of. But this thing like possesses a person, and they do some messed up things, and it can spread. So it spreads not like a zombie, but in the way that a zombie infection like spreads, and it becomes a problem for a whole like country, town, right? That's how this thing spreads, but it's not zombies. It's worse. It's so terrifying. And then the end, like, again, there's no happy ending. You finish it and you're just like, oh my God.
You're just like destroyed.
Yeah.
I like watching stuff like that like kind of like destroys me. Yeah.
And that's what this movie did.
And I will be watching it.
You should.
At some point.
My heart was racing. It's good. And you're going to be so frustrated the whole time the whole time with the main character.
Oh,
he does not stop being un idiota. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't start being yeah. He just, everything's his fault.
One of those.
I'll just say that everything's his fault in the movie. But it's a must watch. It's so good.
Okay.
What about you?
I don't know if I can recommend it yet because I just started reading it and I'm probably like 5 pages in. I'm reading She Is a Haunting. I don't have my Kindle in front of me, so I can't remember the author. But
hold on.
Well, no, because I'm gonna talk about it again when I'm done anyway.
True.
So I'll mention the author then. But even like literally the first page, beautiful writing, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it, all of it because again, I'm like at 5 pages in. But it was described kind of, if you've read these books, it was described as My Sister the Serial Killer meets Crying in H Mart. And I've heard of My Sister the Serial Killer. I haven't read it. It's on my TBR, but I have read Crying in H Mart, which I absolutely loved. So I'm just looking forward to
And I have read My Sister the Serial Killer.
Wait, haven't you read both?
I've read both. So I placed a hold for the book Carmen's talking about. She Is a Haunting.
Yeah.
And I have read My Sister the Serial Killer and Crying in H Mart. My Sister the Serial Killer, I mean, basically what it sounds. That's literally what it's about.
Yeah.
And I think she's an African author.
Yeah, I believe so.
Or Nigerian?
Nigeria is in Africa.
Oh, I'm gonna cut that. And then Crying in H Mart is a memoir. So it's not spooky. It's beautiful though.
Yeah.
A woman talking about the
grief and her relationship with her mom, and how food and, as Latino. We know how important food is to our culture.
It ties you to your culture.
Yeah, how
when
connecting
you're not,
it is. Yeah. And that's kind of like a focal point of Crying in H Mart. And she's like trying to connect, with her mom.
She's Korean American, right? Was it Korean?
I want to say yes. Just look it up.
Okay, before we're wrong.
Before we spread misinformation. Okay.
We were right. Yeah, and here's like the summary when you look online. Crying in H Mart is a poignant...
No!
Poignant?
Poignant.
How do you say that word?
Poignant.
I
don't know.
Ignore us. It's a memoir about growing up Korean American, losing her mother to cancer, and finding solace in food. It is a heartfelt exploration of grief, identity, and the power of cultural connection.
Yes.
And as Latina people, it's relatable. It's not about us.
No.
But we can connect to it in that way.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's written so well. It's really good. So yeah.
So I mean, hopefully I finish it in my, time in the airport and flying back. Mm-hmm. And hopefully I can talk about it next time we record.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This actually brings us to the end of the episode, I think.
I think so.
Okay.
Did we mention where we were at? Like why we're in the hotel? Oh, okay.
Okay. So now that we're at the end of the episode, we are in a hotel together because we attended the True Crime and Paranormal Podcast Festival in Denver. It's in Westminster, Colorado.
Basically Denver.
It's our first time coming to an event like this. I was nervous. What about you?
Yeah.
I was scared that like nobody was gonna come talk to us. People did.
I mean, because it is mostly a true crime. It's more true crime. And
like, maybe our listeners know, but like, I don't think a lot of people know about these like tiny little small baby podcasts. And that is, I know people are like, that's not you, but compared to, I don't know, podcasts like Generation Y, that is us. We're like relatively outside tiny. Of like all of you. Nobody knows Espooky Tales. Like, so it was like, who even are you? Why are you here?
Yeah.
And then our little sign said like, oh, tell us a ghost story. And then we're in the middle of all these true crime tables.
Yeah.
But people did come talk to us. But most importantly, we met a listener.
Yes. Honestly, that was a highlight of the weekend. Yeah.
And meeting Aiden and Lainey in person. They just so amazing.
Much fun.
We laughed too much.
So hard, dude. My head and my stomach hurt from how much we laughed.
Yes. It was a great time. Meeting our listener was such an amazing experience. It was so fun. We are so thankful. He drove an hour after work. He wasn't even sure he was going to be able to get in because it was like the events, everything was over like at a certain time. He drove after work. And so just like, I think it takes a lot to go to a place you don't even know.
Yeah, just show up. But you know what? Just show up.
Just show up. Just do it. Yeah. And like, are you still selling tickets? They weren't. But you know what? We made it happen. He met Aiden from Susto and Lainey from It's Haunted What Now, also a friend of the podcast. The other official no, I'm just kidding. She's going to be like, I am. So
yeah. The other unofficial co-host of Espooky Tales. Because now I'm an official co-host.
She is.
Sorry,
the official
contractually obligated official co-host.
And yeah, it's been such an amazing weekend. It's been honestly inspiring. We watched Susto. He did a live episode.
Wait, hold on. I have a spooky recommendation. It's seeing Susto live.
If you can.
Even though because like of all my podcasts, there's certain episodes I re-listen to all the time when I don't want to find something new or don't feel like listening to something else, or like sometimes I just need noise, but I need noise I've already listened to that's not music to focus on something. That's when I re-listen to certain episodes. And so for Susto, it's the Pucci, did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the Dancing with the Devil. And that's what he talked about. Or presented.
Yeah.
Not he talked about, but that's like what he presented as like his live show.
Yeah.
The presentation, the lights, the narration, it's just amazing.
It was so good. And I've told these stories myself not millions of times, a lot of times. And hearing Aiden do it on his live show,
no one else can do it like Aiden, honestly.
No. So seriously, watch Aiden if you can, Susto. Also, just listen to Susto.
Yeah.
Although I know so many of you already do. So yeah, but yeah, that was amazing. Honestly, it's been an amazing weekend. But yeah, that's why we're in person together.
Yeah, that's
why I lost my voice,
and also why we're so tired, and why I was fighting for my life to stay awake when Cristina was talking. It's not because I think Cristina's boring. I actually think next to me, she's like the funniest person I know.
Second to you, Carmen is funny.
You're funny too. No, I'm both funny. But
you said you're more funny?
I did say that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Now, I've grown a lot because 2 years ago, I would have been like fighting that I'm funnier.
Yeah, but now you know.
I accepted it. I did. And yeah, okay. Should we finish this? Or you still have more to say?
No, that was it.
Okay.
But, because I was like, we said why we worked together. And then I was like, wait, Aiden was amazing. You need to, if you can, watch him live. And yeah, I think that was it.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. That brings us to the end of the episode. We need to drink a lot of water. I'm so thirsty.
We need to hydrate because I don't know if it's the altitude. Now I feel like I'm out of breath.
Yeah, same. And yeah, honestly, I just want to also say like, thank you to everyone that sends messages, leaves reviews, engages, listens, even just listening. And I know MJ's not gonna be with us.
And any new listeners we might have met at the festival.
Yeah.
Hello.
But yeah, and I know MJ's not with us anymore. If she ever wants to come back, we're always gonna welcome her. And I hope that you guys are cool with me and Carmen. Carmen's not a new host, so
you should know me by now.
You should know her by now. In episode 170 something, right? And Carmen always fills in for MJ anyway when she would be sick or the times she took other breaks. And of course we're gonna miss her, but vamos a seguir. We're gonna keep going. And yeah, we just want to thank everyone for sticking with us for all the random randomness. Because I know when you search the podcast for the first time, it says Cristina and MJ, and then you get to one point you're like, where's MJ? And then Carmen's like, hi. Hey. So I will be updating all this now because now it's like a more official break than it ever has been before for MJ. It's indefinite, and so I am going to be updating everything. It is officially going to be me and Carmen. And yeah, thank you to everyone that's sticking with us, or everyone that just found us and you go to the past and you're like, who is this? That's our friend. That's our friend, and we are going to miss her.
Yeah,
doing this with her. Yeah. Okay, are we good?
I think so.
Okay, don't face your bed to the door.
Yeah.
Okay. And
don't steal anything from sacred sites.
Yes. And stay spooky. We'll catch everyone next time.
Bye.
Bye.